What's up guys, Sean Nalawani, SeanNal.com, and in today's video here I want to explain why when you really break it all down, step by step, piece by piece, building muscle is actually not that hard. A lot of beginners have this idea that building a lean and muscular body is this huge sacrifice you have to make where you're just grinding it out in the gym week after week, you're going to war with the weights, you're depriving yourself all day long eating chicken breasts and brown rice. But the reality is that getting into great shape is really nothing like what a lot of these bodybuilding motivation videos or dramatic inspirational fitness quotes on Instagram or even people here on YouTube make it out to be. Building muscle and getting strong does require patience and consistency, yes. It does require focused effort. And yes, there can be challenging times with it if your motivation dips for some reason or you get injured or some other area of life gets in the way. But in the overall grand scheme, the only truly challenging part of the muscle building process, if there is any, is just in those very beginning stages. So the beginning stages where you're actively developing the habits of proper training and proper nutrition. But once you've settled into a routine with it, it's really not that hard. And actually, if you can learn to enjoy the process for what it is, if you can learn to appreciate the direct effects that weight training and good nutrition have on your mind and your body, then it's not only not hard, but it's actually something that you'll enjoy doing a good portion of the time. I mean, in terms of weight training, like 3 workouts per week is really all you're gonna need. Now, some people can bump that up to 4 or 5 days in the gym per week if they're more intermediate or more advanced and they want to improve their gains possibly. But for the vast majority of people out there, and especially for beginners, 3 days per week in the gym for maybe an hour of actual heavy lifting, that's really all it takes. And that's gonna equal out to about 2% of your total available time, which is obviously not much to ask for from like a time investment perspective. And then when it comes to the actual lifting itself, like I know you've seen these dramatic motivational videos of guys screaming at the top of their lungs with their eyes popping out of their sockets, just barely cranking out that last rep. But in reality, that's not actually what effective muscle building training looks like the vast majority of the time, if ever. If you're more advanced and you're trying to get as huge and strong as possible and you're moving really big weights, or maybe you're a competitive power lifter, then yeah, that can definitely be challenging. That's different. But training for basic hypertrophy most of the time is not that hard. You'll want to go about a rep or 2 short of muscular failure on most of your sets. And doing that on most exercises for most muscle groups is pretty routine. And as long as you have at least like average pain tolerance, then you should be able to do that without much issue. I mean, there are a lot of other types of physical exercise that would be a lot more grueling than 6 to 8 reps on a dumbbell press or a lat pull down or a barbell curl. And keep in mind that you'll also get more and more accustomed to the physical discomfort of weight training the longer you've been doing it. So maybe in the very beginning, it will seem harder if you weren't doing much exercise before that. It might be like a slight shock to your system at first. But just like with anything, over time your mind will start to adapt and it will get easier and easier. The only type of hypertrophy training that I do think is genuinely challenging, at least for me, would be compound leg exercises. So things like heavy squats, deadlifts, which are both a back and a leg exercise, of course, and even a leg press if you're going heavier and more intense with it. Just those really big lifts where you're using a lot of muscle groups and you're moving heavier weights. Yeah, those can be tough, but they still only make up a very small percentage of your overall routine anyway. Aside from that, like chest training is really not that hard. Shoulders, arms, back. I mean, if you're going a rep or 2 short of failure, you should be able to tolerate that type of training pretty easily. And for me and for a lot of people where lifting is just a routine thing, I actually enjoy training most of the time. Like I genuinely like doing it. More often than not, I actually look forward to my workouts. I like putting my music in. I like the feeling of moving the weight, getting a pump. There's the whole post-workout high that comes after that. I think it all feels good. And so there's very little genuine discipline involved. Aside from, for me, leg training, but even that's not true for everybody because some people genuinely like training legs too. But yeah, bottom line, weight training for hypertrophy is physically challenging, but it's not that challenging, especially in comparison to a lot of other things you could be doing. You'll also adapt to it over time. You'll probably start to enjoy it. It will make you feel good during the time that you're away from the gym. And it's mostly just a matter of actually getting yourself to the gym in the first place and then staying consistent with your routine. And then in terms of nutrition, this is usually the tougher part for most people, but again, it's mainly just a matter of developing new habits. So it can be challenging in the beginning when you're not quite sure what you're doing. You don't have a good handle on things like calories and macronutrients. You don't know your body well yet, but I promise you, once you do get those things figured out, which doesn't take very long, muscle building nutrition is actually pretty straightforward too. You don't need to track exact macros and know precisely how many grams of protein, carbs, and fats you're eating. As long as you have a decent handle on your overall calorie intake and you're eating a reasonably balanced diet throughout the day, that's really the majority of the process. You just have to go through those initial stages to get a feel for which foods contain what your maintenance calories are. Shut up! What your maintenance calories are, how much, I lost my track. Fuck. Okay, where was I? You need to get a feel for which foods contain what. You need to get a feel for your body and figure out what your maintenance calories are and how much you need for consistent gains. But from there, once you've figured that out, it really just becomes routine, especially if you tend to eat the same or similar things from day to day. And not only that, but this whole idea that building a lean and muscular body means depriving yourself and eating a boring diet is a completely outdated concept, and it's really not true at all. If you just take some time to look up some different meal ideas and different recipes, you can hit your nutritional needs and genuinely enjoy pretty much everything you eat throughout the day. There really doesn't have to be any deprivation involved. For me personally, I genuinely look forward to each meal I eat. I genuinely enjoy it. I'm not sitting around eating tilapia and brown rice all day, not even close. I have to use some willpower here and there to keep my calories under control. I can't just eat every chocolate brownie or every piece of pizza that I see, even though I would like to. But overall, it's something that you just develop over time, and it's really just not a huge deal. I eat a minimally processed, whole food diet the majority of the time, but I still use meals and food combinations that are really good and that I enjoy. I still allow myself to have higher fat and higher sugar foods in moderation without any guilt. And if I want to go out and drink from time to time, that's no issue either, as long as I'm not doing it excessively. What you'll find as well is that when you develop these healthier nutritional habits in comparison to what you were doing before, you just feel better on a permanent basis. You feel better both physically and mentally. And so just like with weight training, you learn to actually enjoy doing it, and you wouldn't have it any other way anyway, even if you could. So the main point of this video here is that if you're wanting to build muscle and get into better shape, but you've held back because it seems like this sort of pie in the sky thing, it's this big sacrifice you have to make. People who are in great shape are just these robots who spend their whole lives in the gym and eat perfectly clean foods all the time. None of that is actually true, unless those people either don't know what they're doing or they are a competitive athlete who's competing at a high level. For everybody else, that's not how it is, and that's not how it has to be. The challenging part, if there is any, is just learning the ropes in the beginning. Developing the proper habits and learning how to make your training and your diet fit your lifestyle. But once you've put in the initial effort to do that, you'll start settling into a routine with it. Training and nutrition will become a lot easier. And once you start seeing tangible, concrete results, that's going to increase your motivation further, and it's going to feed on itself, and you'll probably start enjoying the process rather than seeing it as a struggle. So if this is something that you want, just go for it, get started, grind out the initial stages, and you'll find that after a while, it's fairly smooth sailing, and it's really not as big of a deal as you thought. So I hope this was helpful, guys. If you are ready to take control of your body and your health, and you want a simple step-by-step guide that shows you exactly what you need to know in terms of training, nutrition, and supplementation in order to get there as efficiently as possible, then you can grab my complete step-by-step body transformation blueprint by clicking here or by heading over to btblueprint.com. The link for that is in the description box. Make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. The official website is over at seannall.com. And make sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram as well. The links for that are also in the description box. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you again soon.